okay, so they asked Trump, who was actually in the room with Waltz, who it looks like in the end, and yes, other people on this chain bear some responsibility for not having procedures in place to check. Like, hey, you're the CIA director. You don't have anyone who looks to make sure that there's nobody in these kinds of chains that shouldn't be there. But okay, in the end, it looks like it's Waltz who brought Goldstein in, and he got to jump in and put in his 2 cents.
There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. And I think I'll ask
A lot of
Mike.
great
Mike
people
is here.
use
You
it.
want to respond to that, please?
Do they use it to plan sensitive military operations,
They use it
including
to bomb
weapon
Yemen.
system targeting, locations? Is that how they use it? Probably not.
Yes, Mr. President, you asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves, making up lies about this president, whether it's the Russia hoax or making up lies about Gold Star families. And this one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are
None of that's the point.
looking into and
Yeah.
reviewing how the heck.
Well, that's where they're going to go.
I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor. Under Biden, global shipping was shut down. Pinprick attacks, months between them, our destroyers being fired upon dozens of times. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out communication sites. And for once, as we hear, as you will all hear from every one of our allies, thank God for American leadership again. Thank God for American
Yeah, that's what they're all saying.
Crawling up the ass of
Yeah.
Donald Trump for safe refuge, right? There's safe harbor there.
Yeah.
Attack the source, gaslight about the facts, and crawl up Trump's ass. That's his strategy.
Yeah, no, they are celebrating the return of American leadership around the world. You could see it in all of the people canceling their trips to this country, how excited everybody is. So Waltz then went and pulled what they call in the business a Joy Reid, and suggested somehow, some way, vaguely intimated that Goldstein might have hacked into his phone.
Your staffer did not put his contact information.
No,
but how did it end up in your
phone?
That's
what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, but that's a pretty big problem.
That's what we've got the best technical minds, right?
That's disturbing.
And that's where, I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person and then a different phone number.
But you've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in,
you that
it gets
contact.
sucked in.
Was there someone else supposed to be on the chat that wasn't on the chat that you thought was?
So
on
the
chat?
person that I thought was on there was never on there. It was this
Who
guy.
was that? What person?
Well, I'm not. Look,
Okay.
Laura, I take responsibility. I built
The
Okay.
So
John Goodman, JG. Let's see, what's another name I can come up with? JG. I thought JG was John Goodman.
Yeah. So somebody spoofed the number. That's a real Joy Reid with her time traveling bloggers, and that nice one, Mike. So they're just scrambling. They're scrambling because clearly this is not a good look for them. So this is the same day, the 25th. They're really trying to figure out what their angle of attack is going to be. Washington's favorite sugar baby, Carolyn Levitt, comes out with this. Jeffrey Goldberg is well known for his sensationalist spin, unlike the folks at Fox that you're so fond of, half of whom are in your cabinet. Here are the facts about his latest story. No war plans were discussed. No classified material was sent to the thread. The White House counsel's office has provided guidance on a number of different platforms for President Trump's top officials to communicate as safely and efficiently as possible. All right, so right here, she's telling you that the White House, or she's implying that the White House has approved Signal as a means of sharing war planning in real time, and that none of that is actually war planning or classified material. Okay. As the National Security Council stated, the White House is looking into how Goldberg's number was inadvertently added to the thread. Thanks to the strong and decisive leadership of President Trump and everyone in the group, the Houthi strikes were successful and effective. Terrorists were killed, and that's what matters most to President Trump. In other words, all's well that ends well. Now, part of what is so damning about this is this was a main point of attack for Republicans against Hillary Clinton, the mishandling of classified material. We showed in our original segment, Trump, when he was campaigning in 2016, gave a speech about how under his administration, all mishandling of classified information would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is why they're working so hard to tell you that 2 + 2 = 5, because they just cannot concede that they shared classified information in this conversation. So they have to keep pretending otherwise. But CNN put together a supercut of how they felt about this before it turned on them.
If there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now.
Nobody is above the law, not even Hillary Clinton, even though she thinks she is.
Mishandling classified information is still a violation of the Espionage Act.
When you have the Clinton emails, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage, they didn't prosecute, they didn't go after these folks.
Hillary Clinton responded tonight with this: "You have got to be kidding me."
I mean, we are not Hillary Clinton fans around here. And as I said, I feel like those were valid issues. But the hypocrisy is very obvious. And I'm not saying that hypocrisy is unique to the Republicans. We have often said, if you had the fact pattern attached to the Biden financial dealings, the Biden family financial dealings, if you had that fact pattern attached to the Trumps, the Democrats would have been screaming for investigations. Who's the big guy who gets the 10%? No, nothing to see there. Sure, but you have to acknowledge now, the same is true for MAGA. They're complete hypocrites. As soon as this turns on them, no, that's not classified. No, of course not. War plans are not classified. No, anyone can share that. In fact, from now on, that rotating independent media person, we're going to have one of those in our war planning sessions.
In fact, we should just post them on X.
We're just going to
post it on Twitter.
That's part of how we're going to close the deficit. We're going to have Elon pay us for engagement with our war plans.
Please clap.